Hi everyone, in this video we're going to take a look at Huda Beauty's brand new Mercury Retrograde eyeshadow palette. This is currently available for purchase. As always, I will put in the description box a link to where you can find it, as well as a link to eBay so that if you do online shop, you can at least get some cash back. So if you're curious about this palette and you want to see real swatches, then this is the video for you. Make sure you're subscribed by hitting that subscribe button, follow Allura on Instagram, and of course, if you missed the latest video, I will link that in the upper right-hand corner for you to see. There are a couple weeks left on the giveaway for the newly launched On the Run palettes by Urban Decay. So if you haven't seen that video or entered the giveaway, make sure you go see that video too. And of course, stay tuned for lots of upcoming videos, including a video reviewing Lush's new Christmas line, a review of Becca's new makeup collection, and of course, hopefully, the swatches of Shane's Conspiracy palettes. All right, let's get looking at Huda Beauty's new Mercury Retrograde palette. So first off, I want to say that thankfully this palette came without any broken eyeshadows. I think that's mainly due to the more sturdy packaging. In terms of the box itself, it still just came in that one bag that has bubble wrap on each side of the bag. There was no extra protective packaging included in my box. I did purchase this through Huda Beauty's website, but you can also purchase it through Sephora. It is currently sold out on Huda Beauty's website, so you may actually be forced to buy it on Sephora if you want to buy it right now. The palette retails for $67, and this is the description by Huda Beauty. Embark on a new journey through space with the Huda Beauty Mercury Retrograde eyeshadow palette. This palette will take you to infinity and beyond with 18 incredible galactic-inspired colors and textures to deliver infinite possibilities. The palette includes 9 buttery mattes, 6 high shine creamy metallics saturated with electrifying pearls, 1 glitter powder charged with glass pearls and silver sparkles, and 2 sheer multi-reflective shadows for a multi-dimensional glow. Now, some people were wondering why this is called the Mercury Retrograde palette, and apparently it's because the 31st of October marks the official start of Mercury Retrograde. So this is a plastic palette. It has her face on the front and some holographic reflective parts to the top of the palette. It's a traditional snap closure, and you do get a full-sized mirror inside, and you get 3 rows of 6 shades. And the plastic itself is transparent in this kind of palish purple pink shade. So here are the shadows up close. You can see that each shade name is on the palette itself under the corresponding pan there, which I kind of like for convenience. And as we always do for eyeshadow swatches like this, I will swatch these by row, top to bottom, and then for each row I'll swatch the shades left to right. I swatch them with an eyeshadow brush from Sigma, and I swatch them over a layer of eyeshadow primer. First to swatch is the shade Cosmic. This is one of the high shine creamy metallic shades. It's a medium rosy silvered pink. Shade 2 is Utopia. This is a matte peachy coral. Shade 3 is Ultraviolet. This is another one of the high shine creamy metallics. This is a glittery purple. And there's darker and lighter purple shimmer in there, but does not swatch very nicely with a traditional dry brush. Let's go ahead and try to layer it. I will swatch these in different ways in just a second. I'm going ahead and kind of dabbing on a second layer to build this up. Much improved there. Shade 4 is Nebula. This is one of the glitter powders. This is more of like a gray toned or silver toned purple. Has larger silvery glitter. The whole texture of it is larger glitter particles there. Works quite nicely with a brush actually. Shade number 5 is Mercury. This is another one of the High Shine Creamy Metallics. Now so far all of the 3 High Shine Creamy Metallic formula shades have had a different feel and consistency when swatching. This one works pretty well with a brush, but definitely has a creamier feel to it than the very first shade that we swatched, which is also a High Shine Creamy Metallic shade. Any case, the Mercury shade is kind of like a deeper blue with lighter blue shimmer. And shade 6 is Haze. And this is a matte. This looks like a Tiffany blue. Pretty much spot on. Alright, so there are your first 6 shades. This is the first row. Here you go up close to see the texture and finish. Remember that that 3rd shade has 2 layers on it, everything else has 1. I'm going to try swatching Ultraviolet with a dampened brush, see if that does anything. Oh wow, a lot better. So foiling is a great method for this particular shade. And then let's go ahead and do Ultraviolet. Ooh, it's very creamy to the touch. Nebula, which is also very creamy to the touch, even though this is one of the glitter shades. And Mercury with finger swatches. So here is Ultraviolet. I like the foiled method a lot better. Then Nebula. Works well with finger swatch too, so if you wanted to dab it on with a brush or your fingers, works well. And then Mercury. Oh, I like the brush swatch a lot better. Just get a more intense finish. Okay, so just for comparison, those are a few different methods of application for those shades compared to their brush swatches. In the second row, shade number 7 is Off Balance. And this is a matte shade. It's a deep, dusty rose. Next up is Galaxy. And this is one of the High Shine Creamy Metallics. Again, you can immediately feel in the pan when you pick it up with a brush that it has a creamy kind of pliable consistency. Applies fairly well with a brush. Again, we'll try a couple different methods. Libra. This is a matte shade, and this is a medium, kind of slightly dusty lavender. It's also a pretty bold shade. Next up is Crash. Another matte shade. This is a deep, very dusty mauve. Next up is Momentum. Another matte shade. This is a really pale peach. And last up in row 2 is Supermoon. This is one of the sheer multi-reflective shades, so I don't expect it to go on with opacity or a lot of strength. But I do think it's probably a shade that you might want to consider using other methods for, so we'll do that in just a second. Let's put on a second layer just to see what happens. And of course this is still with a dry brush. I'm using kind of more of a patting motion. Alright, there is row 2 of eyeshadows. Nice serving of mattes there. So let's go ahead and try Galaxy Foiled, meaning used with a damp eyeshadow brush. Put that right here. Oh, it goes on more of like a liquid metallic consistency. Same thing with Supermoon. Using a foiling method. This actually, the pink shimmer in this shows through more when you use a dampened brush, but I still don't really like the consistency here. So let's go ahead and see how these go with finger application. Galaxy, nice, and Supermoon. Oh yeah. Finger swatches or dabbing with your fingers, definitely the way to go for this sheer metallic formula. So there are those 2 shades with a couple different applications. here to brush, dry brush swatches. Moving on to the third row, shade 13 is Vortex. And this is a matte, very deep purple. Hot Mess. Another matte shade. This is a matte, medium, deep berry. Next up is Supernova. This is one of the high shine creamy metallics. Goes on pretty nicely with a brush. This is a combination of red and brown. It's got red and looks like both silver and gold shimmer in there. Karma. This is a matte shade. This is like a, this is interesting. This is, I don't even know how to describe this. It's like a peachy deep brown. Next up is Gold Glitch. This is the other sheer multi-reflective shade. This goes on much better with a brush than the silver one. So this is a gold, but it has red and silver shimmer in it. Gives it a little more dimension. Very pretty. And the very last shade is Frazzled. So actually, right before I went to swatch Frazzled, a large kind of flake came off of the shade Gold Glitch, so just be aware of that. Frazzled is another one of the high shine creamy metallic shades. This one's going on a little less opaque. This is also a reddish golden brown shade. So it's kind of like a golden brown at the base, but has flecks of red and gold shimmer in there. I shouldn't say flecks, just shimmer particles. All right, let's try Supernova foiled with a dampened brush. Yeah, very nice. Again, more of a liquid metallic consistency. Gold Glitch foiled. Also goes on very nicely. A little more smooth, and this way you're not going to have dry flecks that peel off. And Frazzled foiled. It's uneven. Gets kind of watercolory in some areas. Not sure if I would use this shade foiled. Let's see how it goes with finger swatches on these three shades. So we've got Supernova, more sheer but smooth. Gold Glitch, ooh, really nice. Not as super metallic as with the foiled brush, but smoother. And finally, Frazzled. Definitely applying with the fingers looks like will be the way to go. This is a very interesting shade. It has a level of translucence to it, and the variously colored shimmer. Now I feel like I even see kind of slightly greeny. Maybe that's just the gold shimmer, but almost looks like green, gold, and reddish shimmer in there. All right, so there are the last 6 shades. The dry brush application, you can see it's kind of, some of them have these like flakes that are coming off. And then those 3 metallic shades applied with a dampened brush, and then with the fingers. All right, so there is the new Mercury Retrograde palette. I really like the packaging of this palette. I don't mind her face front and center plastered there. I like the holographic shine to the packaging. And I like the color story of this palette. I like the pops of color. I like the balance, particularly of the matte shades to the metallic shades. It looks pretty evenly split between mattes and metallics, which I think is great. And a lot of the metallics are very pretty. Now, I don't think that this is the most straightforward palette to use. So if you are someone who isn't really interested in using various modes of application to create your eye look, if If you just want something simple, straightforward to use when it comes to your matte shades and metallic shades similarly, then this probably isn't the palette for you. But if you don't mind that part and the color story speaks to you, then I think that this is a palette that you may be looking at to invest in. The mattes seem to go on pretty consistently. The mattes are the most consistent formula. They all seem to have good color, go on smoothly, not need a bunch of layering to make them smooth or have good color. And then the shimmery ones are the ones that are more of a mixed bag in terms of how you need to apply them. So please let me know what you think of this palette in the comments section below. Given the price that it's at, do you think that it's worth it? Does the color story speak to you? And of course, any other thoughts that you have. I hope this video was helpful if you were wondering how these colors swatch or look on the skin. As always, I appreciate you taking the time to watch, and I'll see you in the next video.